Hello, YouTubers, jazz aficionados, practitioners of the craft, and lovers of what we call modern music. That's what Charlie Parker called it. This is in continuation of the post I started, and it was called, this is part two, and it was called You Are Your Own Best Teacher. And I was kind of cut off in the middle of the last video I had. I had a phone call. I always do my videos with my iPhone, so that's it. So I was giving you some information about, um, the fork fingering that I was using, that it was out of tune. And my college instructor, Pete Barenberg, suggested that I, do the fork fingering and keep the A key down and also, grab the bis key. And it was a great thing for me to do because it actually put it in tune. It raised it up, and that third finger was lower, and I wouldn't have found that out, without a teacher. So the point of that story was to let you know there are some good reasons to have a teacher, and that was a good point. I wouldn't have found out about it on my own. I mean, there's some videos about in some fingering charts and whatnot, but I just that worked, and to have a person face to face tell you that helped me. But let's continue this discussion about you are your own best teacher. When we run to different people to be the guru and to be the person that will help us reach the next level, we shouldn't have in our mind and hearts that this person is the answer to our problems. We ourselves are the answer to our own problems, musically, I'm speaking of. So, while I'm wanting so much to play correct changes, and I said, if I go to this teacher, they're going to show me how to play correct changes. Well, I have gray matter in between my ears. I can figure out. Now, teacher can give you a shortcut. Teacher can give you a suggestion of the way that they learn. But on the whole, we have to sit down and we have to do our homework and we have to, go do what we need to do to be where we need to be. And that's the thing. That's the whole point of this series. You are your own best teacher. You know your idiosyncrasies. You know your inconsistencies. You know where you can improve. And many times the teacher reinforces, uh, you know, or let you know something that you may not have realized that you need to work on. But most of the time, I don't believe I'm exaggerating when I say 80% of the time, we do realize when we are doing things that need work and we want to improve. So I'm endeavoring to be my own best teacher. You know, I'm I know what I need to learn as far as for the style of music I desire to play. It used to be real rigid some years ago that the teachers say, you know, this is how I want you to do this. Everybody do it this way, and there's no margin of error. But there's so many types of musics that their ideal of being super rigid and super inflexible, they're gone. Everybody has their way to learn. I do believe that as a teacher, we are facilitators of learning, and we introduce things to our student that they may not have considered. Uh, Going back to my professor, he asked me to walk a blues on my instrument, and I was like, I was on tenor saxophone, so I did it in the key of D. For you treble clef people, non-transposed people, that was in the key of C, blues and C. Which is is not difficult. Basically, you're going to play your 1, 3, and 5 and use some kind of embellishments. And, you could do simple blues or you could do substitution chords and whatnot. But the ideal is that that teaches you the changes by learning the blues scale. So I played it, and he told me, okay, now learn that in every key. And so that right there was a game changer for me uh, because that helped me see uh, that that's something I need to work on. It's kind of like the fork fingering. But at the end of the day, what I use and what I do with that information is up to me. If I want to take that and I want to do a gig with just another horn player and we trade off, I walk the chords and he plays solo and go back and forth, or, there's so many applications you can use with that. Play with a vocalist. There's just so many things you could do. And but at the end of the day, I choose what is relevant, and I choose to make it as important as to me. So that's what I'm endeavoring to do, to be my own best teacher, to teach myself in a way that I accomplish goals that I see for myself. And that's the thing. And I think that's where a lot of us as music students, we miss it. We try to do exactly what someone has prescribed for us to do. And I do believe there's a need to do that. If the professor said you need to know all your scales, you need to know all your major scales. In fact, my professor told me to work on scales. But how I use that information is up to me. And really that separates an innovator and pretty much we're all trying to assimilate the language. But when you have a goal that's been given to you by a teacher, it's really their goal. And so I have my goals that I'm trying to do. And, basically the teacher may assign something that you should know. Like they'll say you should be able to know blue bossa, or you should be able to know, sticking in the Afro-Cuban Latin realm, you should know St. Thomas. The list goes on and on. So this is part 2, and this is the section theme that we're going to call You Are Your Own Best Teacher. I hope y'all have a good day. It's getting close to my 9-minute mark. I don't like to go over 9 minutes. So I sincerely hope that this give you food for thought and ideas on how to grow as a musician. And remember, you are your own best teacher. See y'all later. Bye.